Nestled deep in a serene, sun-dappled forest, where towering trees arched overhead in a perpetual green canopy and a crystal-clear stream traced gentle ripples among the mossy rocks, lived two unlikely friends. The forest thrived with the gentle chatter of birds and the rhythm of wind weaving through leaves, a haven for any creature seeking both adventure and tranquility. In this peaceful realm, made of shadow and sunlight, was Fufu, a round, fluffy white rabbit nearly as soft as the clouds drifting overhead. Fufu was 16 seasons old now, a gentle soul still filled with youthful curiosity, yet already wise in the art of relaxation. Mornings found Fufu under the shade of his favorite willow, bright eyes half closed, munching leisurely on fresh, sweet carrots. Fufu cherished his comfort and the simple pleasures of life: sun-warmed grass, the cool caress of the breeze, and the rhythm of his own gentle heartbeat. Not far away, frolicking amid the branches and scampering over fallen logs, was a playful red squirrel named Jidjad. With a tail almost as bushy as the treetops themselves and energy that sparkled as bright as the early spring sun, Jidjad was chasing acorns and adventure alike. At 16, Jidjad was as spry as ever, bounding between branches, ever eager, never pausing for more than a moment before dashing off again. He relished the rush of the wind through his fur, and laughter came as easily to him as the leaves fell in autumn. Though Fufu and Jidjad were different in nearly every way, they met often by the edge of the glimmering stream. It was here that their paths crossed, the quiet rabbit with his love for peace, and the lively squirrel who could hardly sit still. Each time they met, Jidjad would try to tempt Fufu into play.
Hey Fufu, let's see who can leap over the widest log or dash around the stream the fastest.
I see, Jidjad. You know I love to watch you run, but if I tried to chase you, I'd be out of breath in no time. My belly simply isn't built for racing.
And with a gentle, bashful laugh, he'd settle back into his cozy patch of grass, savoring his ever-present supply of carrots. Far above, Fufu, nestled under his usual tree, was drifting towards a nap, lulled by the warm breeze. Suddenly, Jidjad's frightened shout broke through the quiet. Fufu's ears twitched. He sat up, concerned, and looked around. Jidjad was nowhere to be seen. Anxiety replaced his drowsiness, and he hopped, awkward but determined, toward the source of the voice, his plump form bouncing along with each step. Despite his slow pace and breath coming in earnest pants, Fufu pressed on. He followed the sounds of distress, pushing aside his worries about aching feet and cramping bellies. Friendship, he realized, was more important than comfort. At last he reached the edge of the hole and peered down. There, in the dim light below, was Jidjad, huddled, anxious, but hopeful at the sight of his friend above.
Hold tight, Jidjad, I'm here.
He scanned their surroundings, searching for an answer. Hanging nearby was a sinewy vine, thick and sturdy as an old rope. Cautiously, Fufu grasped the vine and, bracing himself, dropped one end into the hole.
Grab on, Jidjad, don't let go.
Jidjad, though shaken, wrapped his paws around the vine as tightly as he could. Fufu, summoned by loyalty and concern, drew upon reserves of strength he never knew he had. Slowly, unsteadily, he began to pull. The effort was immense, his little body wobbling, breath short, heart pounding. Still, he refused to let go, inch by inch drawing his friend into the sunlight. At last, exhausted but triumphant, Fufu collapsed backward as Jidjad tumbled safely onto the grass. The two friends, side by side on the ground, panted in relief, laughing, their eyes shining with gratitude and affection.
Thank you, Fufu. You're braver than you think. I could have been lost in there if it weren't for you.
It's nothing, Jidjad. That's what friends do.
From that day forward, the friendship between Fufu and Jidjad deepened. Fufu, though still partial to his quiet moments and carrot feasts, sometimes ventured a little further to watch Jidjad's latest antics. Jidjad, in turn, learned to slow down, savoring the gentle joys of the forest from a patch of shade beside his friend. Their differences became their strengths. Where Jidjad was bold and adventurous, Fufu was steadfast and nurturing. The two together brought balance and happiness, not only to each other, but to all who witnessed them in the heart of the forest. And so it was, in the ever-blooming woods, that Fufu and Jidjad showed all that true friendship is not about being the same. It is about understanding, caring, and coming through for one another, even if it means hopping out of your comfort zone.